Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Today marks changes in leadership for multiple municipalities across the Tennessee Valley. Elected officials being sworn into office in several ceremonies. We have a live look from Decatur, where the city welcomes a new mayor and 3 new city council members. Those people include Mayor-elect Ken Lawrence, I think he is right there, alongside Terrence Atkins and Barry Bullard, who will represent District 1 and District 5, and Pam Wursler, who will represent District 4 on the city council. We were able to speak to her about not just today, but also the future of the city.
What I plan to do is to go out into the district and find things that are going right, find things that need correction, and work on those and talk to the people. Sometimes people can't get out to various places that I might be at, and I do. I'm out in the community a lot, but sometimes I just have to go to them, so that's what I plan on doing.
There are 2 returning officials in Decatur, Kyle Pike and Carlton McMasters, who will represent Districts 2 and 3 for another term. Decatur isn't the only city swearing in new city officials today. City of Madison hosting a swearing in and oath of office ceremony for the city's new mayor and city council members. Mayor-elect Renee Bartlett takes over for Paul Finley. City also swearing in members Michael McKay, Alice Lessman, Erica White, and Kenneth Jackson as the city's new city council members. That official ceremony is happening right now. In Florence, the city swore in its new mayor, Ron Tyler, and all 6 of their city council members in a ceremony this morning. And in Hartselle, it included Mayor Missy Evans, 3 members of the Hartselle City Council, and 4 members of Hartselle City Schools Board of Education. For more information about all the new elected officials across the Tennessee Valley, go to our website, fox54.com, or join us tonight on Fox 54 News at 9. And back here in Huntsville, you could see a pretty blue sky just above, cars zipping on by in front of 708 Bar and Grill. A very nice day to be outside, but it's dark now, something we'll have to get used to now that we set our clocks back an hour. We'll see if we're in the clear though, clear skies. Joining us tonight is Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, will tonight remain clear and cool?
Both of those precisely. Across all of North Alabama, southern and middle Tennessee, we're going to struggle to find much in the way of any cloud cover. We're really not talking about any moisture in our atmosphere, hence the reason we didn't see any cloud cover through the course of the afternoon. Temperatures climbed into the lower 60s today, which is a bit below where we should be this time of year. We were about 5 to 6 degrees below average. And yes, it is dark now just after the 6 o'clock hour, and it is completely and totally dark as we look northbound on Memorial Parkway. And you're right, something we're just going to have to kind of get used to here over the next couple of weeks. 48 at 7, 46 by 8, 45 by 9, 44 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. Now, as we head into the later part of the evening, I do think maybe a little bit of patchy dense fog is liable to develop across the Tennessee Valley. Not everybody's going to have to deal with that late tonight, early tomorrow morning, but just be mindful. If you do live in one of the more fog-prone locations, you might have to deal with that for the Tuesday morning commute. Temperatures are going to drop into the upper 30s and lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Tuesday morning. But then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, and frankly through a good majority of the work week, we're talking about some warmer air across the Tennessee Valley. That is until a cold front moves through. We'll talk about it all in great detail here in a few minutes.
We've learned about an emergent situation this morning at Alabama A&M University believed to stem from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say they're investigating an apparent suicide that happened near the campus Child Development Center. Huntsville police say they were called around 9 this morning to help university police after reports of a shooting. You can see officers in that scene video in the immediate area securing that area. When they arrived, police say they found a person who had taken their own life at a parking lot in the 4200 block of Morrison Circle. Investigators say the incident was isolated and that no one else was in danger. The university released a statement saying that all child care staff and children are safe. The school and HPD are investigating. Decatur High School was on heightened alert today after school officials say a firearm magazine was found in a student's bag. Decatur City Schools issued a statement saying that around 10 a.m. an 11th grade student's backpack triggered the school's weapons detection system. During a second search, staff found the magazine, but no other weapons. The student then grabbed the backpack and ran from the building. School contacted the student's parents, who told school officials the student had returned home. The lockdown also triggered a secure perimeter at nearby Decatur Middle School. Both have since been removed. A Marshall County man who confessed to molesting a child was sentenced today. September 3rd of last year, James Hayes, pictured here, walked into the Geraldine police station and told officers he molested a 9-year-old family member. Authorities say Circuit Judge Matt Elliott sentenced Hayes to 40 years behind bars, the maximum penalty allowed under Alabama law. Hayes must serve the entire 40-year sentence with no opportunity for parole or good time credit reduction. We're learning more about a standoff that happened Saturday over the weekend in Albertville that ended with a woman who shot herself, authorities say. The Albertville Police Department says officers tried to serve a felony warrant at a home off Alabama Highway 75 when they heard a gunshot. After a standoff, you can see scene video here. Police in the Marshall County Joint Special Response Team entered the home and found the suspect suffering from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The suspect taken to the hospital where she is getting treatment. Albertville police say they aren't publicly identifying the suspect and haven't pressed charges at this time. Some developments in the court case involving a local bar and grill that's been temporarily closed for almost 2 months. The city of Huntsville filed a motion this morning looking to bring a default judgment against 708 Bar and Grill. The motion cites several failed court appearances, saying the defense's failure to appear and submit required documents warrants a permanent closure of the North Huntsville business. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo tells us the latest.
Just this morning, the city of Huntsville filed a motion seeking a permanent closure of 708 Bar and Grill, which recently had its doors shut over public safety concerns. The city is now looking to permanently shut down the restaurant over a number of alleged violations, including assaults, shootings, liquor license violations, and loud noise. City officials claim the restaurant has endangered public safety for years, saying in court documents that a temporary injunction should now be made permanent because of a failure to appear in court, failing to respond to discovery, and failing to comply with a court order. They argue that the injunction, quote, may have already saved lives within the city of Huntsville. But the community doesn't feel the same way. Co-owner Malcolm Gopher and several in support of the restaurant have tried to make their voices heard in court, at the city council, and over social media. Gopher says the closure is unfair, targeting a local black-owned business. He adds that the court hasn't given his defense team the opportunity to contest the city's allegations. And according to Gopher's attorney, it's been destructive for the family business and its employees. Neither Gopher nor his attorney wanted to go on camera today, but they did say a couple of weeks ago that the building itself should be reopened.
I feel confident that the judge will at least take the chains off our doors, even if we're not able to operate. You know, we got food spoiling within the restaurant. You know, it's like, you know, we're chaining buildings up. The building didn't commit a crime.
Judge Ruth Ann Hall is overseeing the case and hasn't made a decision on the city's most recent court filing. For now, the restaurant remains closed until Hall's decision either opens it back up or shuts it down permanently. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
We'll have more for you on this story as soon as it becomes available. To stay up to date, go to fox54.com.
I know there's a lot of people who want to help right now because there are a lot of folks who are really struggling.
And here's where you can help now more than ever. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center is hosting a food drive. We've got those details up ahead. Air traffic trouble, a shortage of our eyes on the ground that help direct planes in the sky. The government shutdown taking a toll on who shows up. Those details ahead. The government shutdown has now lasted 34 consecutive days, approaching the record of 35 days set during President Trump's first term. The Senate reconvened today, but is not scheduled to vote on a measure to fund the government. GOP leaders claim Democrats are waiting until after Election Day to extend the subsidies as part of a funding bill. The shutdown has caused government employees to miss paychecks and is causing long lines at airports as major hubs face air traffic controller shortages. This past weekend marked the worst for air traffic control staffing shortages since the government shutdown began, and that's according to Federal Aviation Administration operation plans. There were 98, quote, staffing trigger reports at FAA facilities between Friday morning and Sunday night, which means air traffic controllers had to alter operations to keep the airspace safe with fewer people working. Alterations can include rerouting planes or delaying flights. According to the FAA, a surge in controllers calling out on Halloween strained staffing at half of the 30 largest airports in the country. Air traffic controllers are considered essential staff and must work during the government shutdown despite not getting paid. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said some controllers have called in sick in protest, while others are taking time off to work other jobs. The Trump administration announced today it will partially fund food stamp benefits this month. The decision comes after rulings by 2 federal judges amid the ongoing government shutdown. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced it will use an emergency fund to cover about half of the program's monthly cost. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities projects more than 752,000 people use SNAP benefits in Alabama. Wanjanaway acknowledges partial funding may not be enough for many families and says it will continue to provide support through pop-up distributions, which you can find on their website.
Even when they say we are going to finally fund the government, it isn't just going to be like, boom, everybody's money's going to show up tomorrow morning. They're going to wake up and all the money's in their account. It's going to take days, because they even said this partial right is going to take some time to even show up.
Yeah, well, officials warn recipients may not see funds right away, as he just said. Around $4.6 billion is the emergency fund. The USDA is sending guidance to states on how to calculate the reduced benefits. The move to deplete the contingency fund also raises concern over how the program will be funded next month if the government shutdown continues. If you're looking for free food during the government shutdown, one local organization is looking to help people struggling with food insecurity. St. Mark's Lutheran Church is helping people in need through the Grace and Groceries program. They'll be giving away free groceries and a hot meal every Tuesday this month. Food pickup starts at 6 p.m. in the back parking lot at 200 Longwood Drive. For more information, go to FOX54.com. Well, this month you can explore the stars and give back to your community all at the same time. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center encouraging the community to give back in return for discounted tickets. The Space and Rocket Center is offering $5 off general admission for visitors who donate a non-perishable food item. The discount is only valid at the time of donation. The drive is to support the Food Bank of North Alabama, which will assist furloughed and federal workers.
We wanted to partner with the Food Bank of North Alabama because they have the resources to get the food where it needs to go. And so we can be a conduit for that. I know there's a lot of people who want to help right now because there are a lot of folks who are really struggling. And so this was just a really positive way for us to give back to a community that gives us so much.
Furloughed workers can also get half-price admission and a discount on drinks and Cosmos Planetarium show tickets. Workers only need to present a government ID or furlough letter to receive those discounts. The food drive runs through November 13th. Logan Alexandra, welcome. I know you covered this.
Yes.
It's good to see that the Food Bank of North Alabama is partnering with other organizations, as they normally do, but in this case, it's a unique way. They're doing it with the U.S. Space and Rocket Center.
Right, and when I was speaking to the spokesperson there, she said that it was really, really important because, of course, they could have done this on their own. They didn't have to partner with, another organization, but they wanted to because the food bank has the resources and outreach to be able to get those items to the community. So that was the biggest thing as it relates to them partnering with the food bank of North Alabama.
Yeah, it's pretty strategic. And then I do know those who do donate, there's an incentive.
Yes, so for every item that you donate, you get $5 off a general admission ticket. So say that you bring 3 items in, then that's 3 different discounts that you get.
Oh, wow.
And it can go for a family, like no matter how big the family may be. I mean, if you have a family of 5, each person brings, an item, and everybody will get that $5 off for their general admission.
That's good to know. Thank you so much, Logan Alexandra. And then, of course, you can find out more information on our website, fox54.com. All right, let's see what's coming up next. One North Alabama city granted some much needed money to the tune of more than $500,000 to upgrade its utility systems. We'll tell you how. And Jordan, we've had a little chill in the Tennessee Valley, but is warmer weather on the way.
Yeah, as we head into the middle part of the work week, temperatures are actually going to begin to climb across the Tennessee Valley, and that's going to continue until a cold front pushes its way through the area. We'll talk about both in a couple of minutes.
Tennessee Highway Patrol is setting up sobriety checkpoints across the state this month with a goal to reduce impaired driving and prevent alcohol-related crashes. You can see which roads some of those checkpoints will be on your screen. Well, you can't see it right now, but some of the areas where you will be able to see those checkpoints are in urban and rural counties, including Shelby, Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties. For that full list of scheduled checkpoints, go to fox54.com. Governor Kay Ivey announced new grants to upgrade utility systems in Franklin County. The first grant, totaling $500,000, would help the city of Russellville enhance filtration and make structural and electrical improvements at the Radford Murray wastewater treatment plant, while the Franklin County Water Service Authority will use a $46,000 grant to replace a leaking filter at its Horseshoe Bend water treatment plant. Congrats. And if you live on Jeff Road in Madison County, do listen up. A water outage is scheduled for tomorrow. Madison County Water Department will be making system improvements between McKee Road and 4019 Jeff Road. The work also includes Stillwell Drive, Trevor Circle. This will require the water company to temporarily shut off water beginning at 8 a.m. The project expected to be completed around 2 p.m.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
And here's a look at weather from Decatur. It looks like that's over by Ingalls Harbor Pavilion, I want to say, but nonetheless, the location is Decatur, and right above is a clear, pretty blue sky that throughout the Tennessee Valley, we're able to enjoy today.
Yeah, it was a really nice Monday, but you definitely needed a jacket. The sun was a little deceiving. Did you have a jacket today?
I did. I had a woolly jacket.
Now, have you turned on the heat in the house yet?
I have. Yes.
The look on your face seems to imply that I would be somewhat crazy for having not yet.
In recent days, yes. I mean, it's dipped quite a bit, even for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the question is, have you turned on yours?
No, absolutely not. Have I added extra blankets to the bed? Yes.
Okay.
Have I started wearing longer pants to bed? Also, yes. But have I turned on the heat in the house? No.
But see, I did all that and it's still too cold for me.
What is your definition of too cold inside the house?
When it reaches like the upper 60s.
Oh, Kenesha and I have two very different definitions of what is perceived as colds inside our respective houses. I think my house got down to 65 last night, early this morning. Still have not turned on the heat. And I'm going to try and stay true to my plan of not turning the heat on until at least Black Friday. Live look out over the Parkway this evening. Traffic seems to be moving smoothly. We're looking northbound on Memorial Parkway. We're going to be chilly again as we head into the overnight, but we're not going to be talking about a freeze across the Tennessee Valley. We have yet to see a hard freeze that ends the growing season. The growing season has slowed significantly, but the growing season has not come to a complete and total stop. Any day now, late October, early November, that's typically when we get that first hard freeze across the Tennessee Valley that would typically bring an end to the growing season. And again, that's not going to come tonight. We're going to drop into the upper 30s and lower 40s across the Tennessee Valley under a really nice clear sky. Really, I think the only problem we're going to have across the area tonight is maybe a little bit of patchy, dense fog that could be with us for the Tuesday morning commute. So if you live in one of the more fog-prone locations, maybe plan now, just to allow yourself a couple of extra minutes as you head out the door for work tomorrow morning. We're really going to begin to see some improvement as far as the low temperatures are concerned, especially if you don't like the cooler air in the morning. We're heading off to the mid-40s for Wednesday and Thursday morning low temperatures, but then by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're talking about low temperatures in the lower 50s. 42 at 7 a.m., 47 by 8, 55 by 9, 60 degrees at 10. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow morning, but you're definitely going to want a jacket across the entire Tennessee Valley. Honestly, I think you'll be able to ditch the jacket as we head into the afternoon. Yes, it's going to be a chilly morning, but temperatures climb into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Got a high right around 70 degrees, much the same as we head into your Wednesday. You'll want to start the day with a light jacket. You won't need the jacket as we head into the afternoon. Wednesday going to be even warmer than Tuesday. Highs consistently climbing into the low and mid 70s. Now, by the time we get to Friday afternoon, we're talking about a cold front back off to the west. A line of showers and maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms will develop out ahead of this cold front. That rain will begin to push its way into the Tennessee Valley late Friday afternoon, early into Friday evening, as that cold front also begins to push its way into the area. I'll show you in the 7-day forecast that cold front is actually really going to begin to drop off our temperatures. That cold front also brings about really the only opportunity for rain through the forecast period. A couple of light showers might linger into your Saturday, but otherwise, we are dry every other day. We don't necessarily need the rain. Drought Monitor shows a lot of improvement. New monitor came out last Thursday, and we're not really talking about much of a drought problem across the Tennessee Valley. Definitely some good news there, and definitely quite the contrast from what we were talking about this time last year, where a good chunk of the Tennessee Valley was actually talking about severe drought conditions. So quite the improvement we've seen year over year. Have a good look at the next 7 days. We stick with the 70s through Friday, 73 on Wednesday, 72 on Thursday, 73 on Friday, with the opportunity for a little bit of rain, even holding on to the 70s as we head into your Saturday. Now, by the time we get to Sunday and Monday of next week, things are really going to begin to change across the area. I've got 63 on Sunday and then 50 degrees. That's all the better we're going to do by the time we get to next Monday.
The city of Huntsville is breaking ground on a major expansion project. It's for the city's Veterans Memorial Museum that's happening tomorrow. City of Huntsville recently approved a contract worth just under $10 million for the 35,000 square foot expansion. This would give the U.S. Veterans Memorial Museum additional space to display some of their pieces of equipment. The project would also include new parking and lighting. All right, what's going on in the sports world, Nick?
Kenesha, Alabama and LSU set to meet for the 90th time on Saturday. This one feels a little different, though. The Tigers on a down year. We'll discuss and hear from DeBoer next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
A date with the Bayou Bengals after the bye. Good evening and welcome into sports. It's a rivalry that dates back more than 100 years, but this year's Alabama-LSU game just feels a little different. Unlike in seasons past, where the winner of this game has an inside track to the SEC championship and college football playoff, only Alabama is in contention this year. LSU is about a week removed from firing Brian Kelly, and despite a 4-0 start to the regular season, they're 1-4 in conference play. Still, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer says this Tigers team is physical and talented.
I think they got elite skill, both offensively and defensively, whether it's coverage or being able to win on the perimeter and the running backs as well. So, this rivalry goes way back. You do the introduction with our team and talk about I think it was 1895, if I remember right, doing the research, and that's a lot of games that have happened between these two schools, and so we're looking at this as one of those rivalry games that I was told much about when I first got here.
And news out of Alabama football, sophomore Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. has been indefinitely suspended from the team. Over the weekend, the Gadsden native was arrested in Tuscaloosa on several charges, including reckless endangerment, attempting to elude, and speeding. On the decision to indefinitely suspend, head coach Kalen DeBoer says the defensive back, quote, understands there are consequences that come with his actions. Kirkpatrick is the son of two-time Alabama national champion and All-American Drake Kirkpatrick Sr. The Alabama Crimson Tide host interim head coach Frank Wilson and Louisiana State University on Saturday night. Kickoff from Bryant-Denny Stadium, scheduled for 6:30 p.m. By the way, Coach DeBoer was correct. Bama and LSU first went toe-to-toe in 1895. Saturday will be the 90th all-time meeting, and the Tide will try and win 3 consecutive matchups for the first time since 2016 through 2018. Kanisha?
Thank you. Coming up tonight at 9, several municipalities swearing in new leadership, City of Madison included. We'll hear from those new leaders. And then Drake State got a head start on Veterans Day, celebrating those that served our country. We'll tell you all about it tonight at 9.
Final look at the next 7 days. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of days across the Tennessee Valley. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday look fantastic with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the lower 70s, a couple of degrees above where we should be in early November. The average high temperature right around 68 or 69 degrees. 73 on Friday, but Friday does bring the opportunity for rain. We hold on to 70 on Saturday, but then it's kind of all downhill.